Hello, everybody, and thank you for your support of Indie Agency News. Let's meet an indie agency. We head to one of my former hometowns, Denver. So introduce yourselves.
Yeah, we're Good Conduct. We're here in Denver, Colorado. I'm Travis Reeb. And
I'm Rob Lewis. I'm the creative director here. Travis is the account director, and we're the founders of the agency as well.
Right on, right on. And as we were talking, you're not in downtown, you're not in Lodo, and you're not in Boulder. You're in the Santa Fe Arts District, which is a very interesting and cool part of town.
Yeah, we wanted to be, in kind of a grittier spot. Rhino is super cool right now, but it's also, the prices reflect that. We wanted to be in sort of like a, isn't it everybody's dream to be like in Gleaming the Cube and you have like a half your warehouse office, and we wanted that kind of warehousey kind of feel that was sort of unfinished. So this part of town's really still kind of up and coming and pretty cool. And
you invoked Gleaming the Cube, which eliminates this question: how Gen X are you? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. No, and I remember that when I went to University of Denver, and that part of town, always had a little bit of grit to it, a little bit of bite. Let's kick into an overview of the agency, when you were founded, and a little bit of background of the agency.
Yeah, we were founded in February of 2021. So we just hit our 3-year birthday, going into our 4th full year of work. And we were working at a small social shop prior to that. And then before that, we were at Crispin and Victor's and Spoils, Gyro, Deutsch, and some of those big agencies, and really thought, that we could go out and do this on our own and, bring that big agency thinking to a different world of clients that normally don't have that kind of access to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time to start too, honestly, which is funny because it was, right in the middle of COVID. But the whole way that the world went to Zoom and digital really kind of leveled the playing field for us against everybody else. You could be in our living room or you could be in a big agency creative director's living room. It didn't really matter, right? You were in somebody's intimate space. And so it really made it a good time to start because nobody really knew the difference. We kind of started out, we didn't have an office. Everyone was working, but everyone was working from home anyway. So,
Yeah. And it reminds me of like 08, 09 and, very different circumstances, but similar cut to the jib of, the economy was all over the place. And I've heard a lot of indies starting at that point. Moving on to what you would say you're best known for, what you would say the agency is best known for. For some, it's a specific campaign. For others, it's, it's something else. What would you say you're best known for?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I don't think too many people do know us yet. In town, I think the most known piece of work we've done is probably for Lumen Skincare. And it was a good brand for us. It's like right in our wheelhouse because they were really trying to kind of change the way people think or men think about skincare. So it was kind of it had a point of differentiation. It had a point of view. And that's really what we try to do. And it was their first work coming out of being like a DTC brand. So it was like, they were a young brand. They were sort of like, hadn't done brand.
They're performance marketers.
Yeah, they're performance marketers. They hadn't really done brand before. And so we really helped them get over that hump and do something in the brand world. And it had just like kind of a tonality and a good enemy. And it was like a rich piece of creative work. So I think around town, people know us for that. And it did get a fair amount of decent press when it came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And that's interesting because you do talk about, there are a lot of D2C brands or indie brands that they start performance based, but then they realize, oh boy, we need to start acting like a brand now.
Yep.
Yeah, they talked about, they literally themselves said they hit like a plateau. They're like, we're just kind of trading consumers with our competitors when we we run a deal and they come over to us, and then they run a deal and their competitors go over to them, and nobody had any loyalty or.
Yeah, they hit a ceiling with their performance.
Right.
Yeah, no. And listen, I'm just saying, an indie agency, good place to go to fix that problem. And it sounds like you hit a home run with that, which is great. Taking it one step further, what would you say are your top 3 core strengths? Because every agency has a very long list of things that they're good at, but what would you say rises to the top 3 or so?
Yeah. We all have our agency slide that lists all our credentials and capabilities, and every agency's looks the same and it's got a lot of bullets on it. I would say that our top 3, one is differentiated creative work. If you want work that you've seen before, we're probably not the place to call, because we don't want to just do what someone else did. We have pride in that, and wanting to be creative and be unique and set your brand apart from everyone else. I would say that our work ethic and building relationships are also like really up there. We really pride ourselves in, kind of why we named ourselves Good Conduct as well. A lot of entendres to be had with good conduct and conduction and conductivity and how we treat people. But we really find value in building relationships with our clients that are deeper than just this marketing task that we're there to solve. Really truly understanding their business and some of the pitfalls that they're going through, some of the opportunities they have, and then how can that then inform the work that we create. And I think that might be 2.
No, you said work ethic too.
And work ethic.
I mean, we both.
That's his 3.
Yeah.
Travis and I both come from sort of hardworking, both agencies and just like upbringings as well. Maybe that's the Gen X, the Gen X part too. But yeah, I mean, we put our heart and soul into the work, and I think we really believe that we can make work as good as anybody, and nothing's gonna go in front of a client until we feel like has the potential to be that.
Right. Let's talk about independence for a minute. And you did rattle off some agencies that you worked with in the past. Why is being independent so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like we appreciate the fact that there's nothing driving our decisions except for making the best work we can and making like the right work for us and for our clients. And we both worked at some pretty big shops, and honestly have seen some of the pitfalls of kind of being beholden to some of those old companies. And that's not always a bad thing per se, but I don't think anyone can care as much as somebody who owns an independent agency. I don't think a creative director at an MDC agency, you can give a damn like you can if you're like, my name is on the door. So and I think some of those things roll downhill, and it can be a drain, creatively or monetarily, or both of those things. Like, we're making this work or we're doing this work because it's affecting the bottom line that we have to report back to boss and like that sort of thing. So I think that's definitely one thing that's important to us being indie.
And I think the other thing is we're able to own who we are, and in that we can choose to be as nimble as we want to be. And like, that's not saying we don't want to be nimble. We like to be nimble because you want to get stuff done. And, we've all worked in places where you present work for a year and a half and you never actually make anything. And so we like to make the work, and being independent allows us to be nimble, allows us to, do stuff on a budget that might be less than what we would normally, or what we'd even like to be on. But sometimes those are the client realities. And because we're indie, we can make those decisions and see what's a good opportunity, because we're going to make great work, or what's going to help the client.
And you have great examples of that. I mean, already you have great examples of there's value in working on those types of projects because they can lead to other things.
Exactly.
100%. We literally did a project not too long ago. I won't name names, but we just spent all the money. We're just like, we don't even, it's not even worth it for us to keep some of this. We just need to make the best thing possible.
Yeah.
And like the whatever small amount of chump change that we'll end up with. So we're just like, screw it. We'll spend it all. Let's see if we can make something good and use that to leverage into like, hey, look what we can make
Yep.
So
Yeah, there's a difference between free work and investing in the value of your agency. And
Exactly.
so that makes sense. Again, great example with your client there. Tell me why a brand should work with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we tell people all the time. We talk about, democratizing creative. We talk about bringing big brand thinking to companies and brands and products that haven't had access to it before. And I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, if you need to make the jump, if you're a brand that is a performance marketer and needs to make the jump to brand and hasn't had access to that type of thinking before, like, we can be the agency that can bring that to a client, because we can do it. We've done it for big brands at big agencies, and we know that not all small brands can afford that financially, but they might be able to work with people like us who, when it comes down to it, working with an agency is just working with the people that work at that agency.
Yep.
So you can get the same level of thinking without, having Super Bowl budgets or that.
Right.
Kind of
Right. Yeah. Those things. that pesky little thing.
Yeah.
Let's move it over to talent. Why should talent, whether they are independent and freelance or as full-timers, why should they consider the agency?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to that differentiated thinking. We're looking to push the boundaries. We're not looking to do what other people have done in the past. And so when it comes to like freelance talent, one of the things we say, it might be on our website and our creds deck, that all ringers, no second stringers. And we're really looking to bring in senior level experienced talent. And because of our past experience, because we've both been working in advertising our whole careers, we all have a lot of connections, not just locally in Colorado, but in Chicago, LA, New York, Detroit, all these other big ad markets, and have a lot of people that are either freelance or looking to pick up some moonlighting jobs that we want to lean into, because they have great creative, they have great experience. And so really we look to push the boundaries and bring people in to make great work.
Yeah, we also, I worked with one of my partners back in the day, used to talk about like keeping the blade sharp.
Oh yeah.
I always really liked that idea.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can keep the blade real sharp here because you're flexing. Now I'm mixing metaphors, but you're working, we have a lot going on, and
right.
There's always an opportunity. And I'm a firm believer in any opportunity can be an opportunity if you make it one. Right. And so there's all kinds of opportunity here. We've got a great client roster. We've got people who want to push boundaries, and we run a lean ship, so everybody's touching everything.
There's another metaphor.
Oh my God.
A nautical one in. I'm starting to keep track now.
Well, you should keep track of double entendres too.
I think that was a quintuple entendre. No, I get it though. No, you're right. Keep the knife sharp on the boat as we don't atrophy.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I get it though. No, trust me. I'm just giving you grief because that's just what we do here. That's just, and you summed up the no second string. I think you summed up my Denver soccer and lacrosse career. Actually, maybe that'd been third or fourth string. Now that I think about it, boy, God, that was a long time ago. This last question we do, and we ask everybody this. It's a bit of a thought experiment. So whether it is an existing client or a marketer or CMO that you would want to say hello to, who would that be and why?
Yeah,
it's a tough one. We were literally kicking around this for days. And
how much paper do you have?
Yeah.
Well, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be fun, so that we can say hi to them publicly on your behalf.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll give you two. I think we would want to say hi to like Fresh Clean Threads, D2C t-shirt brand or clothing. I'm actually wearing one of their sweatshirts right now, and that was not a plug. We'd love to say hi to them because I mean they're reinventing the Hanes game of the 80s and 90s, and making that accessible, but like with probably a higher quality product. And then in the restaurant food space, Raising Cane's.
Fun.
They're selling chicken fingers, but they're selling fantastic chicken fingers, and they're really disrupting the industry of fast food by just leaning into that one product and doing it really well and doing it really hard.
Yeah, we know, I think it would be really easy to say like, oh, I want to do something for Levi's, or I want to do something for Jeep or whatever. But to us,
which we do.
I would love to. Hi, Levi's. But for us, it's all about like those DTC brands. I love those brands because it's like they are disrupting the marketplace. They all have something to say. It's like I found a different way to do something.
Yeah.
And when there's something to say in the creative, it's such a rich territory, and to be able to tell stories about that. Like I was telling Travis, I kind of wish Poppy hadn't done that Super Bowl spot, because they would have been on my list. So hi, Poppy. But I think they're different. They're changing the way soda is thought about, right? So we love to do work in that realm. I think we could have done a better Super Bowl spot than that.
You're veering into territory here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I would have done more storytelling. I wouldn't have done a manifesto. Wouldn't have done a manifesto. But I think that DTC brand that's growing up that needs to do brand storytelling, that's like where
it's a sweet spot for us.
That's really where we play.
All right, I'll go back to my original question. How Gen X are we?
I'm right on the cusp. I'm on the cusp. I'm a cusper.
I'm millennial.
You're millennial. Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah.
I would like to say, thanks. I'd like to say that I'm on the cusp.
Rob just had a little bit of a world weary kind of, like me. I'm almost 55. So, I sort of, you're in that cusp. So that's good.
Cusper. It depends on who you ask. I could be a very old millennial.
Old millennial. So wait, Travis, are you elder millennial?
Yeah, 83. So I am.
Okay.
I am on that cusp too, and I would like to say that I got the best of both worlds.
That's close enough.
Right.
83 was weird. I can just tell you 83 was weird. What's not weird, professional broadcast segue, is how great a great start you're off to. And I love hearing these stories, and I love the amount of specificity, and also you know where you're going, which is fantastic. And to be figuring that out early in the game, I think is going to be really beneficial for you in the future. So good on you. And we wish you continued success, because you're well on your way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you having us, and glad you're doing your thing. I think it's benefiting, the whole crew of indie agencies. It's good. We have a lot of relationships with people in town that are also part of your network. So it's good to hang out with everybody virtually on your platform as well as in life. Yeah.
Colorado is coming correct. So lots of indie agency news members. So, and to both of you, thanks again for being members.
Of course. Thank you.